Festive season is fast approaching, and for many people it's time for a road trip. Our roads are dangerous enough without our vehicles failing us. We've asked motoring journalist Chiro Desiena to join us again and share some tips on what we should check and look out for before starting the engine. Chiro, thanks a lot for your time. There's things that we need to call the experts for on our cars, and there's things that we can do ourselves. Let's start with the DIY stuff to make sure your car doesn't leave you stranded this December.
Yeah, your biggest risk is probably of getting a puncture, and you can prepare for this by just making sure that your spare wheel is correctly inflated. And I'll get to tire inflation in a little bit and the correct pressures that you might need. But another thing is make sure you have all the tools to change the tire. And if you don't, just head into a sort of local auto parts store and make sure you've got a jack and a tire wrench to loosen the bolts as well. So that's really, really important. But also, all cars are different. So for instance, with a Bucky, the spare tire is mounted underneath the load bed, and you need to be able to lower that tire down. So if you've actually never changed a tire in your car, I would say before your trip, familiarize yourself with the process. Sometimes it can be quite complicated, especially in modern cars, so that, you know, if the worst does happen, you need a change. You're not stuck on the side of the road trying to learn how to change a tire in your car, which, you know, can be quite stressful. When it comes to tire inflation, your tires need to be inflated a little bit more to carry a load. So assuming that the car is loaded up for the trip, and you'll find that the tire inflation guide is on the dorsal of the driver's door, and you'll see a little picture there, and it'll show you, you know, 4 people, 5 people, and it'll show you the tire inflation pressures for the loaded journey.
Chiro, I hear that having a clean car is beneficial.
So how weird is this? I had this theory that a clean car would be better off than a dirty car, that would actually use less fuel. And those great guys at Mythbusters, I'm sure you remember that show from a few years ago, they actually did this test, dirty car versus clean car on the highway. And it's actually about 6 to 8% more efficient to have a clean car. And the reason for this is that drag, so the pressure that the wind is pushing back on the car, that has a very big impact on fuel consumption. The less hard your car has to work to go through the air, the less fuel you use. And a dirty car creates more drag. So yes, you'll actually save money on fuel, especially if it's a long journey, by keeping your car clean. It's a weird one, but it's true.
Listen, with the petrol prices and diesel prices the way they are, car washes are about to make a lot of money after that bit of advice. What do we need? What do we need to go to the experts for before we hit the road?
So if you're not comfortable with checking your oil levels, I definitely just pull into a petrol station and let the attendants check the oil levels for you. If your car does tend to burn a lot of oil, it is a good idea to keep a pint in the car. The way you know what the viscosity of your car's oil is, what it requires, is check the owner's handbook, and you'll see 2 numbers. It'll have 2 numbers separated by a W. So that's the viscosity number. So your car will say it needs 5W30 or something like that. Pull into a forecourt and ask for the correct viscosity. Modern cars generally don't tend to use a lot of oil. It's not so much an issue anymore. And the icon that you're looking for the car warning you, it sort of looks like Aladdin's lamp. So if you see your car granting you 3 wishes, it's not, you know, there's not a genie about to pop up the bonnet. You just need to top up some oil.
Well, Chiro, unfortunately, we've run out of time, but thank you for those tips. We appreciate it. Motoring journalist Chiro Desiena from cars.co.za.